Welcome back. The Labour MP for Basingstoke, Luke Murphy, joins me now. Mr Murphy, thank you very much for joining me. I'm glad you can see sense and speak to GB News, even though Ed Miliband is unwilling to. Let's get straight stuck in then to this situation involving these Maccabi Tel Aviv fans not being able to go to Villa Park for this match. The Prime Minister Keir Starmer has said he has done everything in his power to keep Jews safe in the UK. And yet they're not safe, are they? Because they can't go to a football match.
Well, I'm clear and the government is clear. And, well, firstly, thank you for having me on this morning.
Thank you.
I'm clear and the government is clear that they want these fans to be able to attend the football match. No one, I think, would want to see a situation where fans of either side, of any background, not being able to attend a football match. So we do need to see a way through to ensure that the police are able to provide them with the safety so they can go ahead and see their football team play, just as many fans do across the country over the weekend and midweek as well. We should be clear, this was an operational decision, and I can't say that I'm aware of all the factors that have gone into that decision, but what the government is doing is working, my understanding is working with the police to ensure that it does have the support to provide that protection. Everyone should have the ability, we should have the policing resources and support to ensure that everyone is safe, is both safe on the streets and and also able to see their football team play as well. I'm really clear, I want them to go ahead and be able to watch their football team play.
Yes. Do you think it is all about safety when it comes to some of the pro-Gaza MPs that have lobbied for this? Zara Sultana of your party, if it is called your party, we're still not quite clear on that, has basically said this is about, for her, the idea of banning Israelis from all football matches. She's lobbying UEFA to ban any Israeli team from football matches. That's got nothing to do with safety, has it, Luke Murphy?
Yeah, and I think she's wrong. And for those viewers at home that don't know, your party is the name of her party rather than.
Sorry, I mean that. Yes.
Yeah. No. I just it's a very confusing political name for a political party. Let's be honest. And I think she's wrong. I think she's totally wrong. And I've seen some of the other statements, and I think they are totally wrong as well. This was a purely, from what I understand, operational decision around safety. The government is now providing the support to ensure that the fans, and I want to see that decision reversed and changed, hopefully as early as possible this week, yes, so those fans are able to see them. I think Zara and the other MPs who've made those statements are completely wrong.
Also, we now discover, according to the Mail on Sunday, that the West Midlands Police relied upon a report that was written by somebody who was once a member of Hezbollah and who posed with an AK-47. How worried are you about sectarianism? It's already in our politics. We've already got a number of pro-Gaza independents who actually unseated a number of your colleagues, one of whom we're going to speak to, because we're going to speak later on to Khalid Mahmood, who was the MP for Birmingham Parry-Bar for 23 years. Sectarianism in politics, which is leading to this racial tension, as far as I can tell, between Muslims and Jews in the UK, is really worrying, isn't it, Mr Murphy?
I'm very worried about the divisive path that some of our politics is going down, whether that's hate against Jewish people and anti-Semitism or anti-Muslim hate as well. I think we have and always have had a really strongly diverse nation that has always welcomed people from all backgrounds, and I think it is a worrying path to go down where you see on the extremes using this kind of divisive language to cause fear and cause hate, and I think it's wrong. And I think we have a task, all politicians actually, of all political parties. This isn't just about the government, though the government obviously plays an absolutely key role in doing this, in rebuilding those kind of common bonds. You know, we've heard the saying, we all have more in common. I do truly believe that. And we all need to work doubly hard to ensure that we can work together with whatever faith you are, whatever background you're from. So, yes, we have disagreements in politics, but not to foster that kind of division that can lead to hate and roads that I don't think this country or the majority of people want to go down.
Let's move on to economic matters. There's a story on the front of the Sunday Telegraph which will be music to the ears of your Basingstoke's constituents, I'm sure, Luke Murphy, and that's that Tony Blair is urging Rachel Reeves to slash the 40p tax rate. Now, I don't think she's going to do it, but wouldn't it be great for the people of Basingstoke for them to pay less tax, not more, come November the 26th?
Well, I think what my constituents are worried about, and I hear it on the door week in, week out. I had several conversations last weekend with several constituents about the cost of living and the pressures that they're facing, whether it's with energy prices or food prices or anything else. And similar this weekend. But this government, what I want to see in the budget, and I know what Rachel and the government are focused on, is easing that cost of living and getting growth back in our economy. We are only going to be able to have the investment in the public services that we all rely on and that we need, invest in the security to protect our country and to ensure that people have more money in their pockets if we get growth in the economy. And that is what Rachel Reeves was on.
You can't possibly be advocating tax rises, Luke Murphy, when you won your seat in Basingstoke with a promise in the manifesto that taxes wouldn't rise for working people. You can't
certainly
possibly
not advocating.
So she mustn't put up tax, must she?
I want to see, and I know that the government is steadfast in those commitments in the manifesto to ensure that there's no increase in VAT, there's no increase in income tax or national insurance on working people and on my constituents. What I don't support, because I've heard several calls from the Conservatives, the Lib Dems, and Reform to cancel our the national insurance increase that was made last year, to cancel a whole load of other taxes, and then to go further to have tens of billions of pounds of cuts in spending, as well as unfunded tax cuts like scrapping stamp duty. That is a path to a higher cost of living for my constituents.
It depends on you.
It is unfunded tax cuts that led to interest rates rising.
It does depend on your definition of a working person. Am I a working person?
Well, the working people, the people that go out to work and make most of their money through work rather than from capital.
So you're ruling out a working person like me. You're saying that I won't be taxed more on November the 26th. Because we've got all sorts of suggestions, taxes on our properties, reapportioning of council tax bans, NI contributions for people who have second properties. We might have a change to the cash ISA. I mean, most working people, if they're lucky, have got a little bit of savings in a cash ISA. That might not be as tax efficient anymore under Rachel Reeves. How can you dress this up as anything other than a tax on working people?
Well, the fundamental commitment in the manifesto was around VAT, national insurance, and income tax. You know, what Rachel Reeves will do in the budget and what the government is seeking to do is to ensure that we have growth in the economy, that we provide the investment that our public services need. One of the things and one of the reasons I was elected in the general election was because our National Health Service did not have the funding that it needed. People couldn't see a GP, they couldn't get the hospital appointment. We're beginning to turn that around. Of course, this government absolutely wants to see people have more money in their pocket. And that is an absolutely central tenet of what this government is trying to achieve. But we will not do things that undermine the stability in our economy or make unfunded commitments, which previous governments have done and all of the opposition parties are now doing. And while that's a difficult choice, if you have an unfunded tax cut that you cannot pay for, that undermines the economy and will lead to increase in interest rates, which is we saw had a massive impact on my constituents over the last few years.
All right. Luke Murphy, we're running out of time, so I just need a yes-no answer to the following two questions. Knowing what we now know about Chinese spying, should the super embassy in London go ahead? Yes or no?
Well, you tempt me with a yes or no question. It's absolutely right. The government must consider the security implications of the embassy, and I know the government will be considering that.
All right. If Keir Starmer is found to have misled the Commons, as Kemi Badenoch has suggested, he'll have to resign, won't he?
I don't believe that he has. I think it's really clear the China situation that I set out. It was an independent decision made by the CPS, and Kemi Badenoch has questions to answer. When she was asked at the time of the case, she said, she was asked, is China an enemy? She said it's a challenge. Asked whether it was a security threat, she said they're a challenge. This is all about the Conservatives' policy about China the time, which they are now trying to rewrite.
Luke Murphy, thank you very much indeed for joining me this morning. Very much appreciated.